What's up, everybody? John Eric Pauli here with my MMA news, and today's guest just defeated Vince Morales by unanimous decision at UFC Vegas 65. Pleased today to once again be joined by Miles. John, Miles, nice to see you.
Nice to see you, man. Good to be talking to you again.
Yeah, so we did an interview right before the fight, and you discussed like what the emotions were like of not knowing when the next opportunity exactly was going to come. Taking this chance on 2 weeks' notice, changing gyms, moving the family. So much like went into this like short notice opportunity. Now you're here, you get the win. Just what have the emotions been like since getting that win?
It feels good. It feels good to be back in the winners column. But unfortunately, I wasn't super pleased with my performance. So now I would say the emotions are more on the side of ready to get back in there, like anxious to show the world, what I'm capable of and all the things that come with that.
And we're going to get into the performance and break it down round by round in just a second here. But I'm sure a lot of what happened, what you're talking about there, had to do with the fact that, just a few hours or a few days right before your fight, you find out that your coach, James Krause, won't be able to corner you. You said, if I had it correctly, that he was suspended or something along those lines. Explain what exactly happened here, because it is very bizarre. It's not a regular thing to see. As far as I've been covering the sport for a few years now, I haven't ever heard or seen anything like this happen. So, what exactly happened, and is this going to be a long-term thing here?
As far as like the details of his situation, I don't know many. I think that he's going to be back in soon. They're getting that worked out. But for me, it just felt like, if I'm being completely honest, it felt like something out of a movie for me. Like it was just crazy. Because like you said, I'm coming off a loss. I'm coming off of a suspension from the UFC myself. I'm coming off of just changing gyms. So all these things are already going into this short notice, 2 weeks notice fight. And then the night before the fight, I get told that he's not going to be able to corner me. It was just like, man, like so many things happening. Just yeah, it just felt insane, and like and my coach Safe was there also with two of my teammates, and so it was a lot to just deal with, mentally, but yeah, so it was a good experience, a wild one.
Yeah, I'm sure it's something that you're never going to forget. And God bless you for being able to come, over. That's like a huge mental hurdle just to get over, too. I wanted to ask, too, just before we break it down, obviously, with him not being in the corner, was it your family, did you say, was in your corner? Who exactly was in your corner and how they do filling in there?
Yeah, my little brother's always in my corner, and he's a fighter as well. So we have that experience, we have that time together, but he's never the main corner. It's always been Coach Safe, obviously, was the main corner, and Coach Kraus was planned to be the main corner in this fight. So we're at the dinner table, and we get the news, and Coach Kraus is there with us. We're all eating, just enjoying the dinner before fight day, and we get the news, and my dad's there, and he wasn't going to be able to go to the fight because Apex isn't allowing many other people in. So once we figured a couple things out, like went through the whole mental battle of like, okay, I'm still fighting, right? Like, because that thought is going to cross my mind for a second. I'm like, wait, what? Like, is it still on for me? And obviously going to make the walk, of course, and then it's like, okay, who are we going to get in there? And my dad was right there. So we just jumped on trying to get him licensed and everything and get him a fight kit. And we did all that stuff. And got to throw him in there. So I'm super happy to give him that opportunity. He was ecstatic to be able to be back there, backstage and everything. It's always been like a dream of his. So I was happy for that. But just yeah, everything. It was already like I would say there was already a lot of pressure coming off of a loss, coming off the suspension and changing gyms. I really, really wanted to get a win, for myself and just for my security and my position in the UFC. I'm sure I wouldn't have been cut either way, but it's just you never can be too secure in that. So then with him not being able to corner, the pressure just elevated through the roof. So yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, a lot going on there. Again, God bless you for coming over all that there. That's a lot going on before the fight, but it was nice that you got a nice little family experience there. One with the family has to be
Yeah.
nice for sure.
Yeah, I
Let's
don't I
get
don't know if
into
that's ever been done. If the father and like if you've ever had like a dad and two brothers be in a corner, for a UFC fight. So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, that is true. That might be for I've seen parents before, I've seen siblings before. I don't think I ever saw the whole corner being a family before. So that is something that we'll have to look that one up. That might actually be a first, or at least a
Yeah.
first in a real long time anyway. But let's get into some of the fight specifics here of this fight here. First of which, before we even get into any round by round thing here, they said on the broadcast. So when you got inside of the octagon, we didn't see it at home, right? There was a commercial break going on. So they said on the broadcast that you guys actually had to be separated. The commission was in there pushing you guys apart there. What happened there that the world didn't get to see when it was on commercial break? What happened when you guys got inside the octagon there?
It was just real intense. He was staring me down the whole time. So of course I'm gonna stare back at him, and they were calling my name out, doing whatever they were doing, and he was just staring me down. And so I just kind of walked to the center of the cage and put my hands up just to let him know, like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, you can look at me like that all you want. You can put that pressure on me. I'm here and I'm here to fight. I'm not going nowhere. And so then he walked to the center of the cage also, and the commissioner, of course, is going to jump on that. And it's like, oh, whoa, 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 and separated back to our corners. But really, it was just me saying, like, I'm here. To get it's going to be hard to get me out of here. So yeah, let's fight.
And then indeed, you guys did fight. Let's start breaking that down now. Opening round, pretty much for the most part, for the whole 5 minutes, seemed like it was a very long feeling out process. It wasn't really a lot of output there. Just take us through that round, kind of how you think it played out and kind of what was going on there.
Yeah, I think I was just having. Yeah, it seemed like I was having issues with my timing while I was in there. Like my timing in my range, I couldn't really find him. And I couldn't really find like my timing, my feet under me, under my punches and stuff like that. But looking back at it now, I think it was just all the pressure that was going into there. Like, I really wanted to get a win. And so I think I was just out there fighting to win rather than fighting and just being free and fighting to have fun and fighting to do my thing. You know what I mean? And then we started exchanging closer to the end of the round, and I think he caught me with one good hook that was right on like the bridge of my nose. And I've already had some nose things, so it just started gushing blood everywhere and stuff. And I think that also made me a little bit more hesitant throughout. Like, anything can happen in there. And like I said, I really felt like I needed this win, for my position and everything. So I think it just came down to me fighting to win and not fighting to have fun and not fighting to because I love fighting. And that for me often shows in my performances. I can be a lot more reserved, and I can I feel like I'm a very smart fighter. I feel like when it's time to fight to win, I'll fight at anybody's pace and I'll fight any fight I need to fight. But I'm a winner. Like, I've always been a winner my entire life. I'll get the job done. But that also comes with me not opening up all the way, and not you don't see some of the miles that you've maybe seen in past fights. So I think that's what it was. And I think also people, when they see me fighting after like the two knockouts and the crazy fight with Castaneda, they expect something like that. They expect a knockout or like a finish. Like, this is the first decision I've been to in 4 fights. So I think that expectation also brings in adds a part to it. They're looking for something crazy like that, and I'm willing, and I want to give that to them, because when I'm having fun, something like that is gonna happen. It's not going to the judges, but I just wasn't having enough fun in there.
Wait, each fight's different too. Not every fight's going to be in the same there. I do want to ask you now about the second round. There was obviously a higher output that round. Still not super high, but just want to get your thoughts on that round. It was a very close competitive round. And then you said that the nose that was at the very end of the first round, because that was another thing too. Whenever the fights go to commercial, we miss out on a lot. So obviously, when you came out for the round, it wasn't as bad. But probably you took a shot. Maybe in the second round, it really started coming out, because it was kind of unclear as to when exactly the problems with the nose exactly happened.
Yeah, he just caught me with a nice hook right on the bridge of the nose, and I've had some issues with my nose over the past couple of weeks. Just right before this fight, I told my wife I thought I was going to break it in there for sure, and I don't think I did, but he clocked it pretty good, so it just started, it started coming out and stuff, and nothing severe. People get hit all the time. People break their noses in there all the time, but it definitely kind of triggered some of that. Like, we need to get this win. I guess, you know.
And then I guess it's the last thing then too, the final round then that was probably the most output from the fight, and you guys were starting to get after it there in that last round there. I just want to get your thoughts too on that round. It was like every single round was so close. It was such a tough one to score. You kind of wonder what was going on there. So I want to get your thoughts on that final round and kind of where you thought the fight was as you were awaiting the judges' scorecards.
You know, I thought that it might have been 2-0, but I thought that it also could have been 1-1. You know, I thought I definitely won the second round. I got the takedown at the end. I felt like I was pushing the pace in the second round, and then third round I felt like I was pushing the pace too. I was really just telling myself, just kind of move forward. You know, don't be caught moving backwards. Kind of move forward, throw your jab, try to find your right hand and stuff, and secure this round. And then I guess they wouldn't consider a takedown, but I kind of got him down and they got back up, but I got more cage control and stuff. So I definitely thought that I was doing enough to win. And anytime he picked up the pace, I picked it up as well. But man, I just wish I could go back there and just have fun in there, you know, and just fight my pace of fight and do what I do, because I think it would have been a completely different story. But I definitely felt like I was doing just enough to get the dub.
And as you mentioned there, right? You said it a few times. You wish you could go back in time and do maybe something different. Obviously, we talked about in the beginning, just like having your coach last minute get suspended like that. Obviously, short notice opportunity and everything. I was going to ask, I guess going long term here, a lot of times it's funny. Like a lot of fighters will say, when they go into their second training camp with the new gym, they really see a big jump in their game there. Do you think, if you do get the opportunity to get a full training camp, not a 2 week short notice type of a thing, and the more time that you spend there at Glory MMA, that kind of we're going to look back at this last fight and just completely crumble it up and throw it out the window, because we're going to see such a different version of yourself as compared to this one that we saw, because of, again, all the things that went into it.
100%, man, 100%. You know, luckily, this was not Coach Krause's fault. You know, I didn't blame him at all. But luckily, something like this, I feel like it jump started our connection as well. You know, it made us a lot closer. We went through that adversity together. And although he wasn't able to be there in my actual corner, like he understands, you know, and he knows that I'm there to ride for him. Like, and yeah, it just kind of jump started our connection. So I think in the next one, when we actually, because this wasn't even, I wouldn't consider it even a training camp with him, you know, but when we actually have a training camp and having been through like this type of adversity together, and knowing that we're both going to be there for each other, I think the connection between us will just be a lot stronger, and we'll just be a lot more prepared, and not just, yeah, I think you'll definitely see a completely different fighter next time around, having a full camp with him and having to be our second go. So absolutely.
All right, now with all of that being said, let's ask what's next. Plans for 2023 here? Do you want to get in there sooner than later? What's kind of the
Yeah,
game plan
man.
here going forward?
I freaking love to get in there sooner than later. You know, I definitely want to get 3 fights in 2023. You know, I'll be turning 29 towards the middle of this year, and I've always thought like 30 is when I would be getting those like top 10, top 5 fights and getting ready to make my run for the belt. So if I could get 3 fights, string together 3 wins this year, bust into those rankings, that would be awesome. So I definitely have my goal set on that.
And then I'll ask this, since I know you said, right, when you get to 30, you want to be having those big time matchups. A lot of times, right, we've seen it where guys, injuries happen all the time. There's got to be short notice opportunities. You just did one. Is that something that is available too? If there is a good major matchup for you, one that gets you in a great position, if it is short notice, would you hop on that?
Oh, absolutely. I've always rent people are always like, how soon would you take a fight? Blah blah. And I'm always like, 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks. I'll be good to go. My wife's always like, you're not making weight in 2 weeks. But I just proved that I can do that. So now that I have that experience under my belt, yeah, so if something pops up, I think they know who to call.
All right, and one other thing, I know it's the holiday season at the time we're recording this. It's right before Thanksgiving, Christmas, of course, right around the corner. You're a family man there. What's the plan for the holidays with the family? What do you guys do? Anything special?
You know, just hanging out with other family. You know, I get to take a deep breath, and I really get to be present with my kids. You know, I think that when fights start coming around and stuff, they can feel the distance from me. You know, I gotta get in my zone, and of course, they're always going to feel love, but they know that dad's a little bit checked out mentally, and he has his mind on something else. So I'm just happy to let all that off of my back and just get to really enjoy being present with them and that, and enjoy the time. So yeah, we're just gonna be having fun, running around and doing our thing.
Awesome, man. Good stuff. Last thing before you head out, as always, social media, management, sponsors, coaches, teammates, whoever you got to give shout outs to, floor is yours.
Yeah, you guys know where to find me. I'm on Instagram, Miles Chapo Johns. Aside from that, got nothing.
All right, everyone. Hope that you liked today's interview with Miles Johns. And Miles, again, man, thanks so much for all the time here today. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate all the viewers out there watching today's interview. If you liked it, make sure to go to the bottom. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Also, keep going to MyMMANews.com. Go to our social media pages as well. Give us a like and a follow on there. And if you want to find me on Instagram or Twitter, I'm at John Eric Poli. We'll see you later, everybody.